ABC Sports is very happy we can show this game to the Iraqi troops in Kirkuk, Iraq. Army 1st Brigade Combat Team, 101st Airborne Division, Air Force 506 Air Expeditionary Group. And joining us now is Major Tim Pavich, who's a grad of Texas, so obviously very partial to the Longhorns. This has been a second half USA team all year, Tim. Do you think that your Longhorns can hang on?
Oh, I know the Longhorns can hang on. We're here rooting for them.
Well, enjoy the rest of the game, and thanks for everything you guys are doing for us over there. Stay safe. Stay very, very safe. I bring my partners back in right now, and obviously USC, as we mentioned before, this is nothing new to them. They're used to winning games in the second half.
And you know what? With Matt Leinart at quarterback, you always have a chance. We've seen what Matt Leinart does in the second half when he has to make a play. Matt Leinart has the running game. Now I think he needs to be a little bit more confident and precise with his throws because Texas' secondary has made some darn good plays back there. They're only rushing 4, Aaron. You know, find the man and hit him.
And they've been eating those receivers up, so that's why I think they're going to have to get to the running game, guys. They're going to have to get to the running game, use that offensive line. They've been able to have some success there. Settle down. This is what USC does, though. It's right where they want them.
Game has been as advertised. Plenty of fun to watch. It's going to be a great second half.
Is there a rallying cry for the thinkers and doers of tomorrow? A motto that sums up their passion for creativity and their pursuit of discovery? Sure there is. Hook 'em horns. We're Texas. What starts here changes the world.
I'm Sarah Reinertsen, the first woman to finish the Hawaii Ironman on an artificial leg.
I'm Army Captain David Roselle, the first amputee to return to combat command in Iraq. We're representing the Challenge Athletes Foundation. CAF's mission is to support physically challenged athletes, whether they're just getting started or winning Paralympic gold.
Visit challengedathletes.org to learn more about CAF's stories of heroes, heart, and hope. Thank you, City, the Tournament of Roses, and ABC Sports for this great opportunity.
Thank you.
Let's spend some time here at halftime in the Rose Bowl with the Texas Band, directed by Dr. Robert M. Carnahan. They're known as the Show Band of the West, and here's why. We'll kick off our second half with the AT&T Music Highlights featuring U2 after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The Pontiac Performance Halftime Show, brought to you by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. Stay tuned for a special performance by U2 and the second half kickoff after this from our ABC stations.
16-10 lead. University of Texas Longhorns over the University of Southern California as we get ready for the second half of play. And let's talk about tweaking things with Dan Fouts.
Well, offensively, SC's got to get Bush and Jarrett Moore involved. And then on defense, pressure and then tackle Vince Young. Texas offensively, hang on to the ball, quit giving it back to the Trojans, and then defensively, stay the course. You're doing just fine. You're allowing SC just 10 points, holding out a pretty good offense.
Trojans have got to crank up the throttle a little, don't they?
Well, they've got to quit making mistakes, and as we talked about, Bush is such a difference maker. He's not on his game so far. That lateral in the first half was just a critical mistake, something that I'm sure that he would like to have back.
And we haven't seen the best of Vince Young either.
Well, not too bad, though. Vince Young is leading rusher in the game, but you always expect a little bit more out of him. The big question for SC is the health of Matt Leinart. Took a lot of big shots in that first half.
That missed extra point, they oftentimes echo, don't they?
Well, it came on a touchdown that should not have been a touchdown, too. Right. So that one, a 6-point lead here at the half, and that's just that one extra point's the difference.
So the Rose Bowl holding up to the expectations, but in effect, it's the defense that's setting the tone of the game so far. Texas showed signs of grabbing it by the horns, literally, if you'll pardon the pun, in the last 10 minutes of that first half when they exploded for 16 unanswered points. Troy Van Blarcom will kick off now as the Horns won the toss so initially and elected to start with the ball in the second half. That's a good kick. It goes 2 yards deep in the end zone to Ramon Taylor. Taylor coming to the outside. The Trojans went for the middle of the field and bingo, he broke it to the outside, and there's a penalty flag up on the 33-yard line. Josh Pinkard made that tackle.
And that penalty flag was thrown against Texas on the other side of the field. Had nothing to do with that fine return by Ramon Taylor.
During the return, holding number 21 on the returning team. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That hurts him because it was on the 29. Dan?
Well, time for our city game summary. Pretty balanced for Texas. 121 yards rushing, 113 passing. SC's 2 turnovers led to 9 Texas points. But SC, those both happened deep in Texas territory. Leinert's been down 3 times. Young, nada.
Still clean britches. Keeps it. Started a little option motion. Throws a couple of defenders. Turned it upfield and got 3 yards. Darnell Bing finally brought him down.
He might have got more than 3, Keith, as he was contacted there, but just continues to overpower the Trojan tacklers.
Second down and 6. Keeps it. Got away from the pressure, throws to the sidelines. There was enough pressure, though, to make him move, and he threw the ball wide of his intended receiver, Lima Swede. It was defended by John Walker.
That really is the best pressure we've seen from the Trojans' front 4 all night. And that's directly responsible for that ball being incomplete because he did have to move and had a small margin for error on that sideline.
Just beginning the second half of play. Game hasn't exactly followed form, but it's beginning to turn that way as the principal performers are beginning to step up, and in particular Vince Young. On third down the sidelines, too long. Swede running down the sidelines with defense by John Walker.
That's a great start to the second half for the Trojan defense. as they force Young 2 incompletions. In the first half, he only had 2 incompletions.
Well, we've seen Pete Carroll work some miracles in the second half of play all along the last 2 seasons. Let's see if he can do it against the powerhouse here in Texas. Reggie Bush is waiting for Richmond McGee's punt. Reggie's back about the 38-yard line. High kick. Reggie comes up, waves for a catch, and a penalty flag thrown. And it might very well be against the Trojans.
Yeah, it's going to be against Darnell Bing. He blocked a Texas gunner in the back. So that great field position at midfield, still going to be pretty good, but not as good because of the block in the back by Bing.
Well, they've been off a month, both teams. You're never as sharp as you were when you ended the regular season. It's a long wait.
We talked about how Matt Leinart got bounced around quite a bit in that first half. You're going to see 2 of his 3 sacks. Frank Okam gets him there. And a couple of guys. Watch this shot, though. This is the one of major concern, though. Aaron Harris came in there and rattled his cage.
So the Trojans take over at the 38-yard line for their first possession of the second half. And they come out with Reggie Bush as the deep back. Leinart turns to this side, throws the ball quickly. Jarrett receives it and picks up about 6 yards. Killebrew brought him down. There's Bob Leinart right there, Matt's dad. Proud of his boy. Well, he should be. Good job.
Good boy.
You bet. 13:34 to go. Second down, 4. Trojans ball. Lindale White trying, gets 1 of the 4. Aaron Harris and Terrell Brown doubled up for the tackle for Texas. The temperature here in Pasadena here for the second half of play is going to be in the mid-50s to the low 50s. It'll go down. Gets pretty cold here in the Arroyo Seco. Colder down here than it is up on the hill. Third down and a long 2, more like 3. Dominique Bird's been quiet tonight. That was him in motion there. Leinart straight back, gets it away, gets his first down as he throws to Brandon Hadcock, the fullback, out of the backfield, and move your chains.
We saw David Kirkman make a big play, the starting fullback, on that touchdown drive for the Trojans. Now Brandon Hancock, the backup fullback. Just seems like when you have stars like Bird and Steve Smith and Dwayne Jarrett, Bush and White, that the defenses say, hey, you can throw it to the fullbacks all night long. We're not all that worried about him. Leinart found Hancock for a key first down.
Four-man front for Texas. Ball goes. Leinart dropping back, throws down the middle. Jarrett's got it. And Dwayne Jarrett will take it down to about the 22-yard line before Terrell Brown can ride him down.
And that'll get a high five from Daddy as Leinart enjoying the pass protection. And Jarrett running a sharp route after the play fake. And it's a good one to Glendale White. Look at the pass protection. Again, when Leinart can step into the throw, as most quarterbacks, he's going to be very accurate. This is a perfect toss.
Jarrett caught 81 during the regular season coming into this game and had 15 touchdowns. That's a lot. Ball is at the 22 of Texas. Leinart up quickly, throws the ball. He comes this way again to Jarrett. Jarrett will work his way to the 17 before he's wrestled down by Brown and Huff. Terrell Brown's playing well tonight. Been around a lot of tackles.
And he's been able to fend off the blocking of the wide receivers. That time Steve Smith was out in front, and Brown just ignored him, came up and made the tackle.
Brown comes from Mesquite, Texas. running right along. We've burned up almost 4 minutes of this third quarter. Now a 6-man front. They better hurry up. They're going to get the clock. They burned it. That's the second time in the ball game. Or they call timeout? They got timeout on it. So effectively, that's almost a wasted timeout. But he wanted to change his play, and Texas went into a 7-man front, and they had to spend the timeout. Look. In the 2004 Rose Bowl, USC and Michigan, watch this. Matt Leinart catches a touchdown pass on this play as Mike Williams delivered it, left-handed also. And they went on to win the AP National Championship 28-14, beating the Wolverines. That game was a real coming-out party for Matt Leinart, too.
It was right at the same part of the field, too, where they executed that play perfectly.
Right now, they're looking at 2nd down and 5. Ball is on the Texas 17-yard line. They're trailing by 6 points. Ball is handed off to Lindale White. He shakes off a couple of runners, goes for the corner of the end zone, and finally got him. Michael Griffin got down around his feet and got him down just inside the 5-yard line.
Now he just straight-armed Michael Huff to the turf. Watch the strength of the right hand of Lindale White. Watch 7 come up here. That's Huff right there. Down Huff goes, and White almost gets into the end zone. Griffin with a solid tackle.
Of course, the biggest guessing game in town is whether or not Lindale White will come out and go to the draft, or whether Reggie Bush will go to the draft. Maybe depend on what happens here tonight. The Trojans right now get it back to White, and he rams it into the end zone. Touchdown. So now USC with an opportunity, if they can convert, to take the lead again.
Great start defensively for the Trojans to start the second half. Even better start for their offense as White pays it off with 2 very strong and important runs for the Trojans.
Malone is the holder, the punter. Will Collins snaps it. Mario Danello kicks it through. It is 17 Southern California and 16 Texas at 10:36 to go in quarter number 3.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Brought to you by the Citi Simplicity Credit Card. Citi, live richly. FedEx, for the ultimate in reliable shipping. Relax, it's FedEx. Tostitos, nothing brings people together like Tostitos chips and salsa. Meet you at the Tostitos. And Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Lindale White banging it into the end zone, his 25th touchdown of the year. White and Bush collectively 97 combined career touchdowns. That ties the NCAA record for teammates with Army's Glenn Davis and Doc Blanchard. As far as I remember or know, this is the first time we've had 2 Heisman Trophy winners in the same backfield in the game since Davis and Blanchard.
And it's very similar, Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside, huh?
It is, yeah. Ball kicked almost beyond the field of play, way in the back of the end zone, and no return on it for Texas. They'll come out to the 20 and possess the ball using the spread formation. Jamal Charles is set back there with Vince Young. And out of bounds he goes. It was almost a body block by Oscar Lua that got him out of there. But he picked up the better part of 7 yards.
And he got in behind his All-American tackle, Jonathan Scott, pulling all the way from the left side and leading Young around the corner. Again, no huddle offense to keep the Trojans from substituting.
2nd down and 3. This is Charles. Cuts it back in traffic. Finds a crease. And a fine run. Scott Ware finally brought him down, but the freshman out of Port Arthur moves the chains for the Longhorns. They're trying to respond here to USC's touchdown.
And they're going back to their basic Texas football, that zone read play. First time Young kept it. That time he gave it to Charles. Both plays, good results.
Little quick pop over here to Linus Swede. And he'll have, oh my goodness, about 6 yards on that play. Just bang, bang. That's the kind of stuff they used here last year against Michigan, too.
Standing back in the shotgun really gives Young a chance to check out this defense. He saw Pinkert off about 10 yards that time and picked up the easy completion.
Running right. Got a block. Got a big block from Pittman over there and runs a big play for Texas all the way down to the 35-yard line.
And he ran himself right into the ground trying to get extra yardage, but it's the quarterback draw again. He's so tough when he runs to the right, too. He's a right-handed thrower, so that means he likes to go that side of the field. And right now he just trips on the grass here at the Rose Bowl and goes down.
Big block for him from Billy Pittman. Throwing down the middle. Got it. It's Linus Swede. And that's another Texas first down at the Southern California 20-yard line. The plays are happening so fast. He's getting rid of the ball so quickly, it's impossible to get a rush on him.
Texas tempo right now. Great response by Texas to SC's touchdown, don't you think?
Yes, sir. Run it in the middle. That's Charles again. Looked like he was gone, and then all of a sudden he pops up on the other side.
Talking to Greg Davis, their offensive coordinator, he says he's like a whiff of smoke. He's there, and then all of a sudden he's gone. Makes people miss almost every time.
Trojans staying with that four-man front. Reaches for it. Touchdown. Well, he's got the team on his back, man.
Well, we talked about you can be in position, you can have the right defensive call made, you can do everything right. But if you got him one-on-one, you're probably not going to tackle him. And that's what happened on that play. He comes right to this point here, just overpowers the tackler, stretches out and scores.
And so the Horns go back to the lead. And here's your try for the extra point from David Pino. Matt Nordstrom, the holder. And it's good. Third lead change of the ball game. Texas 23, Southern California 17, with 8:34 to play in the third quarter. And this is for the BCS championship.
You're watching the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi on ABC Sports.
8:34 to go in the third quarter, and Vince Young has put his team back in the lead, 23-17. That old Miss technical point's going to lay there on that scoreboard all night long.
Yes, it is. Give hope to the Trojans and make Mac Brown worry.
Greg Johnson to kick it off, left footer. Reggie Bush is waiting for it. He's going to give it to him at the 5. Hole closes at the 25, and they'll take him down at the 26. Texas coverage has been good.
Let's go back to the touchdown. This is the zone read play. Right here is Rucker. This is who the zone read is played off of. Young sees Rucker go down, chasing Charles. He pulls the ball out. Brian Cushing misses there. Josh Pinkert not strong enough or big enough to keep Young out of the corner of the end zone. Carroll talking to Cushing on the sidelines. Carroll's got to come up with answers for all the Trojans.
Well, he's limited at that position. Leiner rolls it out. Rose completes to Dominic Byrd. And the big old tight end did not go down. He just turned and pounded up the field and picked up a first down. Broke the tackle of Michael Griffin.
This is why these teams are 1 and 2 in the country. There's no quit, and there's extra effort on every play by every player. Watch Byrd this time. Gets the big hit there from Michael Griffin and says, I'm not going down till I got that first down. Great play by Dominic Byrd.
38-yard line. Glendale White, the deep back. Throws it quickly to Jarrett. Jarrett's hit just as the ball arrives by Aaron Ross.
Now the quickness and speed of these corners is that they're just getting away from the initial block of the other wide receiver. We saw Steve Smith miss a block earlier. Chris McFoy is 82. He's not fast enough to get to Ross, and Ross drills his buddy.
What if SC were to go to the first sound?
Either first sound or go with a pump fake, a hitch and go or something. They've got to stretch this Texas secondary out a little bit.
Second down, 11. Lost a yard on that pass play. Leiner passes away, goes to Steve Smith. And Smith started outside, came back inside, and will pick up, about 6. The show that swept America off its feet is back. 10 new celebrities taking on the toughest challenge of their lives. Jerry Rice, Kenny Mayne, Tatum O'Neal. You gotta go dancing. New steps, new stars, new season. 2-hour season premiere live tomorrow at 8/7 only on ABC.
I wonder if that show may be in this young man's future, since that's the only class he took this term to graduate. Ballroom dancing.
Maybe he had it in mind.
Smart guy.
Completes the pass for another first down. It goes to Fred Davis. First time Fred's seen the ball tonight. Made the catch at the 45-yard line of Texas.
And Leiner obviously is shaking off the effects of that big hit in the first half. He looks real sharp now, getting back in rhythm, setting his back foot and coming through. Read the defense well that time, because that pass to Davis was not his primary target. He wanted to get Bush on that wheel route again, but that was covered.
Horns are all over Reggie.
Leiner's hot, Keith. 9 in a row.
Yep. Behind, though, 23-17. Want to do it again, down the middle, Jarrett. Couldn't get by that last man. A sure tackle by Michael Griffin to take him down at about the 21.
Yeah, they're getting the ball to their playmakers now. Here is Jarrett on Aaron Ross. Double move to the inside. At 6'5", he's got a real deceptive stride. But Leiner just dealing the ball now, reading the defense and that offensive line, controlling that Texas pass rush.
Christmas Foy back in for the Trojans. Horns bouncing him around. And they handle him. Reggie was trying to slide to the right, get to the crack. And Brian Orakpo came right down the line with him and made the tackle. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 23-17. Texas is leading. Trojans trying to respond to a very efficient drive put on by Texas. USC came out and started the second half by scoring. Texas scored. Now Trojans trying to respond to that. This is more in line what you would expect between two offensive powers that average better than 50 points per game all season. Leiner throws the ball to Byrd, and Byrd will get inside the 15. Spins down a yard short of the first down as Michael Huff brought him down. Well, I'll tell you, Dan, this defensive secondary Texas has got out there, the track team.
Yeah, check out Byrd on the end of the line of scrimmage with the fake block there on Crowder. And then again, great effort. And there's that tackling you talked about, Keith. Huff gives up about 60 pounds. to Dominic Byrd, but that didn't stop him from bringing him down.
It's third down and a short yard, and Glendale White is the beat back. Leinart kept it, throws it to Byrd. He stepped out of bounds. No, it's Fred Davis, and they'll call it an incomplete forward pass because he was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
Boy, and it looked like Leinart could have just run for it.
Yeah, but I think he's a little skittish after that wallop he took late in the second half.
Nah, he's not skittish, Keith. Come on. He's a tough quarterback. That's a good call. He was out of bounds.
That's watching that big old...
yeah, Robinson
39.
was coming, wasn't he?
Yeah. All 270 pounds of him. Fourth down and 1 with White, the deep back. Big play here, folks. Goes to White, runs up the middle. That'll do it. Touchdown. That's 26 touchdowns of this season for Glendale White, and they now own that combination touchdown record in the NCAA record books. They have 98 now, breaking the old Davis Blanchard mark.
And that's Mr. Inside, or as the Trojan fans like to call him, Thunder. 3 touchdowns tonight for Thunder.
This is to give SC a 1-point lead. And it's the 4th lead change of the game, the 3rd in this quarter. USC now 24 and Texas 23 with 4:07 to play in the 3rd quarter. Oh, we got one building. And the flow and the ebb. Back and forth we go here in this 3rd quarter. 24-23. Defense and mistakes in the first half kept it. Texas exploded. 16 unanswered points. Now we're into that shootout kind of thing.
Yeah, the first half was all defense. Second half it's all offense.
And Markham's kick, another good one. Way back. No return. Don't miss the season premiere of Emily's Reasons Why Not. Emily's Reason, I don't know. Starring Heather Graham, a new comedy about love, laughter, and life. Premiering Monday at 9/8 Central, followed by an all-new Jake in progress, starring John Stamos, only on ABC.
Yeah, I think Vince Young enjoys playing here in the Rose Bowl. And we still have a quarter and change left to go.
Out of the spread. Throws the Hummer. Caught it. I thought his knee was on the ground when he caught it. Lima Swede. And it was on the ground. It's down at the 25, so that's a pickup of 5 yards.
I think you're right, Keith. It looked like as the ball comes in low, working against John Walker. Watch the knee go down. Something the replay booth missed earlier in the game when Selvin Young scored a touchdown.
Young running, and he took a pretty good lick that time. That's the hardest hit he's taken tonight. But he still doesn't need to send his britches to the laundry. I keep bringing that up because last year he ran for 4 touchdowns against Michigan, all standing up.
Yeah, he had to work for his touchdown tonight, diving for the corner of the end zone. This is Frosty Rucker getting checked out on the sidelines. May have a sore shoulder.
Kofi replaces him. No pressure. Ball thrown and good. Catch is made by David Thomas.
Huge night for David Thomas. He's been Young's favorite receiver all year long. He slips coming out of the break on this play and has to make a sensational diving catch, and he did.
7 catches, 66 yards tonight. Ball is handed off to Romance Taylor. And he's tattooed at about the line of scrimmage. 35. Gained a yard.
Taylor is a versatile player. He's played a lot of wide receiver for the Longhorns. That time a little bit too much hesitation, trying to look for a crack in the defense that wasn't there.
Young wants to throw, going to take off. Look out. All the way to the 20-yard line before Keith Rivers can bring him down with help from Darnell Bing.
Let's take a look at this from high above the Rose Bowl. 150 yards rushing on the night for Vince Young in just 12 carries. He's come real close to busting this all the way to the end zone.
Oh, it's first down at the 20 for the big guy. Hands it off. This is a loss and a big one. Frosty Rucker back in the ball game among those that took down Romance Taylor.
With that 150 yards rushing, now he has 1,000 even on the season, and that continues a Texas tradition.
They're trailing by a point with 1 minute and 38 seconds to go in the third quarter. The ball is back on the 26, and it's second down and 16. Had a man wide open. Lima Swede got lost and just sat down at the 15-yard line and was available.
Well, it's a real dilemma for defensive backs in this game for SC. Young kind of mesmerizes everybody. They got to be scared to death that he's going to pull the ball down and take off running. In the meantime, Justin Wyatt slips down, and Lima Swede is wide open at the 15-yard line.
Third down and 5. For the Horns. Throws it back across the field. The tackle is made with the reception right about the 14-yard line. Josh Pinkert hitting David Thomas.
That was the best defensive play for SC in quite a while, because both Pinkert and Darnell Bing, 36 and 20 there, were all over that throwback screen to David Thomas. Well anticipated and well executed by Carroll's defense.
And Pino is back in the ball game for a field goal try to give Texas the lead again. 31-yard try. He'll kick it from the 21. You can, as they come out and call time here. And the timeout was called with the clock winding down and about to run out of time in the third quarter. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. We've got 15 minutes left. 24-23, Southern California leading, but Texas now with a field goal try of 31 yards, trying to untie it on 4th down and 4. David Pino. He's 1 for 1 on field goals, but missed an extra point. Missed that one.
Missed both of them to the right side. Well, Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden can sympathize with Mack Brown. They saw that all night long last night, but another miss by David Pino, and the Trojans continue to lead.
With 14:55 left in the national championship, it's USC by 1, 24-23. Joining me now on the field, Libby Evans-Wright, folks. She is the president of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses this year. She is the Danica Patrick this year, I should say. And congratulations. How has it gone so far for you?
Oh, it's been a magical year. I mean, this could not be a better matchup. It's the dream teams of the whole country.
A lot of firsts, especially in the Rose Bowl game as well.
That's right. You know, the Rose Bowl has been in practice since 1902. We were the first televised game in the early 50s. And, you know, here we are with this wonderful experience tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Keith, a lot of great ladies here. Sandra Day O'Connor, our Grand Marshal. Keith.
Thank you, Todd. And the Trojans back to the attack here. Throw that ball quickly outside. They found some success with that play. And Dwayne Jarrett, of course, comes out quickly, and he's a big guy, and if you don't do your work on him, he'll get loose.
Well, and what they did that time, Keith, they didn't have any help out there, so there was not an extra defensive back to come up and tackle Jarrett until he got a number of yards there. So SC making the adjustment on that quick hit to the outside.
It'll be 2nd down and 2 as the play picked up 8 yards. And this is the final quarter, folks. 24-23 after the field goal miss from 31 yards. Little pitch to McCoy, and he's got a little trouble over there. There's 2 Longhorns after him, and they get him. Michael Huff was the first one. Holly Rowe.
Guys, for some reason, the Texas defense continues to struggle with cramps. At least 7 guys have been treated here on the sideline. They've got ice bags running up and down their legs. They've also had IVs at halftime, at least 4 players. Their co-defensive coordinator, Dwayne Akina, said to his defense before they took the field, guys, I know you're tired. I know you're struggling through the cramps, but you have to find a way to get some energy. We can't get into a track meet.
Thank you. 3rd down coming up here. And Pete Carroll coming down the sideline, calling a timeout. I'm wrong, and he saw it and spent the timeout. They've got 1 remaining.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Brought to you by the Citi Simplicity Credit Card. Citi, live richly. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Nokia. Your friends, your family, your music, your pictures. It's your life in there. Nokia. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Here we go. On 3rd down and long for Southern California. 3rd down and 6. 1-point ball game. Dodged the bullet a minute ago. Now let's see if they come together. Reggie Bush remains quiet. He goes to the top of the screen as a wide receiver. They've emptied the backfield of 5 wideouts. Matt Leinart, quick drop, quick pass. Pass is caught by Dwayne Jarrett. So Jarrett becomes the money man for Matt Leinart. And you can call it 1st down. Southern California at the 36.
Just jumps right inside of Aaron Ross there. Timing absolutely perfect between these 2 roommates. And the ball thrown low right to the body of Jarrett because Leinart knew that Ross was coming quickly.
Ross is pretty good, isn't he?
They're all good. I don't see a dog out there.
You're right.
And as a quarterback, I was always looking for dogs.
Dumped off to Dominique Byrd. And Byrd, who has stepped up here in the 2nd half, makes another catch. And that'll move the ball up to the 43, close to the 44.
And another great tackle by Michael Huff. He gets right to the shoulder pads, one-hands the big man down to the ground. That's why he won the Thorpe Trophy as the best defensive back in the nation.
2nd down and 3 coming up for the Trojans, and this is the kind of a down where Matt Leinart might go fishing. Looking for something a little deeper. Lindale White is into the backfield.
Please reset the clock to 13-19. 1-3, 1-9.
Clock running loose again. But they're going to back it up.
The one thing the Trojan offensive line has done tonight is they've shut out an All-American tackle, Roderick Wright. He has 0 tackles on the night. You got to give a lot of credit to big number 71, the Deuce, Taitusi Latu.
Bush and White are both on the field. Bush is outside as a wideout to the top of your picture. And the ball goes to Lindale White. There's your first down. Oh, he has been like an 18-wheeler running downhill tonight. Here's Todd.
Well, Dan, you said it to Tusi Latui. No one wants to celebrate more from him. Here he is a transfer from Snow College, originally from Mesa, Arizona. Following last year's win at the Orange Bowl, he had no chance to celebrate as his wife was in labor in Utah with their first child. He showered, jumped on an alumni charter to L.A. After riding to LAX, he grabbed another flight to Salt Lake City, where he made it to the hospital just after his baby was born. Inoki Leoaki Melatu, which in Tongan means return a champion. He's got another baby on the way, but he told me better timing this year. She's not due till June.
Planned it better, did he? This is Bush bringing him out. They won't let him get around the corner. He's been trying all night, and they've been handling him all night. And we've got a Longhorn that's shaken up over here on the field. That would be number 39, Brian Robinson, a defensive end.
This would be a big loss for the Longhorns. They're already a little bit thin at defensive end. Tim Crowder hurt his knee in practice and has had trouble with cramps in the second half. The backup is Brian Arakpo. He plays both sides. So if Robinson can't play, they're going to have to really dig deep on that bench. The Longhorns have had the answer for Reggie Bush tonight on all these perimeter type of plays, but not the answer for Lindale White pounding in the middle.
He's holding his rib cage like he's tender in that lower rib cage area, maybe even in the hip area.
Number 39 right there takes a shot from Dominique Byrd, and I'm sure that that was the injury, perhaps a bruised rib. We can hope that's the extent of it for Brian Robinson.
So it's 2nd down and 8 for the Trojans with the ball across on the Texas side of the field, and here goes White again, and he's pounding now. He's running behind Brandon Hancock, and the Trojan fullbacks are having a big night with the blocking business. Aerial coverage of tonight's game provided by Tostitos. Clock ticking along at 12:05.
And the word on Brian Robinson is that he'll be back. White is right at his season average at 6.6 yards a carry.
3rd and 2. Big guy still in there. He gets it. Lindale White inside the 30-yard line to the 26. Lindale White weighs 235 pounds. That's why I'm calling him a big guy, because he's a load.
And that's the sacrifice you make when you try to get more speed on the field, as Gene Chizik has done with this Texas defense. Power will beat speed. Look at the hole. Latui, Matua, Khalil right up the middle. And Lindale White is on the verge of going over 100 yards rushing.
He's done it.
Yeah, there he goes.
101. Reggie Bush is your deep back. He gets it. Goes to the outside with it. Oh, it's around the corner. Touchdown. I'm making sure that that's arms are up.
It took a while to get those arms up. I'm not sure these officials from the Big Ten have ever seen anybody fly through the air like Reggie Bush can. This ball was designed to go right up the middle. It wasn't there, but this was. Stayed in bounds, airborne, touchdown, Reggie Bush.
Wow.
My goodness. You did say wow, didn't you?
Yes, I did. When I introduced him, I saw him in the hall the other day, and I just walked by him and said, wow. He broke out in a big laugh.
I think they're going to take a look at this, but from what we saw in that last look, which was a great look right down the sideline.
I don't see how in the world you could really make a judgment on it. You got to. I don't think we got enough pictures to change it.
Yeah, I think the style points are worth 6 points anyway.
Now watch he goes over. Ball's inside. part of his body is outside, but it's airborne. The ball is inside the pylon.
It's a game of Quidditch to Reggie Bush. Where's his broom? I don't see any broom. He's got the snitch in the end zone. Touchdown for Reggie Bush. You can hold him down just so long, huh?
Yep. They now have, between the two of them, Lindale and Reggie, they have 99 touchdowns combined.
After review, the play stands as ruled on the field. Touchdown.
But now the Trojans, for the first time, build a little bit of cushion here. As mom and dad, Reggie's folks. Mama's going to fly right out of here.
I bet she can. I know he can. So determined.
Danilo for the point. He hooked it a tad, but he got it in. So it's a 31-23 ball game, an 8-point lead for Southern California with 11:19 to play in the game. Well, the two big men in the limelight, Vince Young for Texas and Reggie Bush for USC, have put their thumbprints on this ball game, however it may end.
Lendell White's got a big old footprint on it, too.
You bet he does. 31-23 as the Trojans kick off, and Blarkham pops it up. And they get a bounce. Nope. Horns come up and receive it. That's Henry Melton, that big old tailback, coming up and making the sliding catch.
Well, we all know that Reggie Bush won the Heisman Trophy this year, but is he the greatest of all time? You decide. And maybe that could be the new pose on the Heisman Trophy, or the one we just saw. How about this one?
That'll work in clip diving. First and 10 for Texas. The ball is at the 31, and Vince Young throws the ball. It comes out. Was it a catch? If it came out and is ruled a fumble, it'll be Trojan ball.
Thrown to Jamal Charles over the middle. They finally get together and say incomplete pass.
Brian Cushing doing the job for the USC Trojans. Right there, number 10.
Boy, he got the hand on the ball. That was real close to being a reception and fumble.
It'll be second down and 10.
Looked like he had it. The more pressing concern is how much time Young had to throw that ball. Now they're going to take another look.
Well, they got hurt. The officials didn't have a picture to work with because of some equipment problems on that knee thing down there that got the touchdown. And now they spot this well enough to say, let's have another look.
The problem is that when we show the replay, it's in slow motion sometimes. So you really can't tell how much time has passed from the catch and the ball coming loose. That looked like a completion to me.
Close. Ball was right against his chest. He had both hands on it.
Okay, let's check it out in real speed and see what this looks like. Bang, bang, huh? That didn't help any, did it?
I'm not getting paid to make the decision. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sometimes you just look at the reaction of the receiver in plays like that. They know when they have possession. I think Jamal Charles right now is just hoping. Just hoping. That's ruled incomplete. A couple of the all-time greats, Rodney Peete, Marcus Allen, Anthony Munoz, left to right. Ronnie Lott sticking his head in there too.
There are no celebrities on the sidelines unless you count these guys as celebrities, but they are allowed 5 members,
After
4
review,
members.
the play stands as ruled on the field. Incomplete pass.
Probably not enough to overturn it visually, but that won't stop us from taking another look, fueling the fire. Good reaction by Brian Cushing. One freshman on another.
2nd down and 10. Vince Young looking around. Throws to the sideline. Caught. And out of bounds about the 44. Billy Pittman. Billy Pittman's just a sophomore. All you folks in the Big 12. He'll be around to torment you some more.
And Quan Crosby, another wide receiver, is a freshman. Lima Swede, a sophomore. They're going to be very important, especially if Vince Young comes back next year, as he told me he would, and told many other people he would.
Yeah, but they lose Allen, Blaylock, and Scott along the offensive line, and they are good.
Ouch.
Ball completed down the middle, and it is a first down at the Southern California 35-yard line. Billy Pittman again making the catch, and he's hurt.
Again, Young with a lot of time to throw, and a wide receiver from Texas running free in the secondary. See where he might have twisted his ankle there in that tackle by Bing and Oscar Lua.
Hobbled off the field in a hurry so they could keep going without a huddle. Pitch it out on the option. And they get almost a first down out of it. It's Selvin Young running right to the marker.
Time for our Dodge defensive playbook. Brian Cushing right here on the edge of the screen is going to have nightmares about this play. It's the zone read, and he's responsible for the quarterback. Well, that quarterback, Vince Young, makes a miss. Then he runs over Josh Pinkard, gets into the end zone for a Texas touchdown. What I like about this drive, Keith, is they're keeping the ball in the hands of number 10, whether he's operating the option or throwing the ball behind this great offensive line.
Trying to answer. They're down by 8 points. Ball is handed off to Selvin Young, and Young will get the first down at the 20-21.
Get an idea of the competitiveness of the quarterback, Vince Young. He's going to get out in front here and not throw a block, but at least get in the way of Keith Rivers. That allows Selvin to get the corner, pick up the first down.
Big numbers for the infantry tonight. Deep pass to the end zone, overthrown. Lima Swede was running under it, and Josh Pinkard was defending.
Vince upset that Limas took that route to the inside where Josh Pinkard had safety help coming over. Vince wanted it to the outside. That would have been a similar type of play that beat Ohio State earlier this year. Lima Swede catching the jump ball in the corner of the end zone.
2nd down and 10. Young takes off. Trojans handled him pretty well this time. He only got 5. Oscar Lua leading the tacklers.
Well, Texas became the first non-conference opponent in 1990 to beat Ohio State at the Horseshoe on this play. 24-yarder from Young to Swede with under 3 minutes to go. Proved to be the game-winning points as the Longhorns beat the Buckeyes 25-22 in the game of September.
Yeah, but that was a game that showed them they could beat a good football team.
Absolutely.
Third down and 5. Young's got it. He won't get it. Fumbled. Did he fumble? Did he turn it over? Well, it looked like it rolled loose. Casey Studdard got on it and kept it for Texas. And now they're talking about field goal.
Number 90 is Frosty Rucker. He stripped that ball loose, but look who recovered. Casey Studdard. Heads up play. Boy, what a huge recovery for the Horns. In field goal range, maintaining possession.
It's a chip shot from here, 34 yards. But I shouldn't say that. He missed. David Pino missed one a while ago from 31 yards.
Same hash mark too, wide right.
Yep. That's wide. It's inside. It's right down the middle, I thought. It seemed to sail off at the end of the travel.
Good
But it's
hold
good.
by
Anyway.
Matt Norgren, Keith. Check this out.
(31-26) is your score. USC by 5. Tonight's attendance 93,986, and they're all still here.
I think a few might have snuck in. Got to recount them. Man, what a crowd.
It's a bunch. Greg Johnson to kick it off. Not too deep. Taken by Bush. Boy, they handled him pretty rough around the 20-yard line. January 22nd, the NBA on ABC returns with outstanding regional action. You'll see either the Nuggets against the Spurs or the Sixers of the Timberwolves Sunday, January 22 at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, right here on ABC, the home of the NBA Finals. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
These last three right here have come in the second half as the Trojan offense straightened things out at halftime. Let's see what they do now to respond to that field goal by Texas.
Lindale White is the deep back. Jarrett's down on this side. White has it. Horns jumped on him. About a yard maybe. Eight minutes and 16 seconds, and the clock is ticking along.
How about young Roy Miller getting some playing time, Keith? Another freshman playing at nose tackle, number 75. What a moment for him.
Leinert gets it away. Pass is complete to the fullback Kirkman. There's a penalty flag back at the 10-yard line. Is it roughing the passer? Could very well be. Yep.
Yeah, Leinert giving it right back to Texas. Says, bring it on, boys. And add 15 to the end of that reception by David Kirkman. Huge mistake for Texas.
Looked like Killebrew was a man, wasn't it?
Well, that's who Leinert was barking at. Number 40 is Killebrew, and that is a two-step late shot.
Number 40, defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Leinert's all right. And the ball goes way up the field. My goodness, it goes all the way to the 31-yard line in Texas.
Balance. That's what that stat shows you. As SC in the second half has been unstoppable. But when you make mistakes like that, you're just aiding the enemy.
Lindale White's in there. He gets it. Up the middle he goes. Yeah, this trip, that's about the only thing that stopped him from scoring because there was nobody in front of him. And it's Latouille again opening the door for him.
Latouille is 71 on the pull. Now that's 340 pounds right there. Key block as well by Fred Davis, who's a converted wide receiver playing tight end. There's the deuce.
Ball is at the 23. Second down and 1. Leinert going for it. Jarrett. Touchdown. Two Longhorns hurt on the play. They collided. Dwayne Jarrett, 6'5" and made out of old leather and hamstrings. Even though he's young, he takes a whack-it in every ball game he plays, but he delivers.
Talk about delivering. That's the first touchdown pass in this game. We've had 7 rushing touchdowns. Matt Leinart in the second half, 14 of 15 for 182, and that dagger there. We can only hope that Brown is okay.
Michael Griffin's the other one, then.
Yeah, they collided as Jarrett went up in the air high to pull this one in. And it was almost a helmet-to-helmet collision on 2 horns. So many times over his career, Leinart has thrown this ball high to either Mike Williams or Dwayne Jarrett. Both of them 6'5". You can see the collision there as Jarrett stretches out, breaks the plane, and scores for SC.
It's 37-26, waiting for the point. Well, Michael Griffin was walking around still dazed from that collision as they tried to defend against Dwayne Jarrett. And this is Terrell Brown, who is coming to the sidelines, and he's needing some help. He took the brunt. I thought the full weight of Jarrett went into Griffin, but apparently not. And here's another look at it. 27 is Griffin, and 5 right there is Terrell Brown.
Yeah, they appear to have put a splint on his right arm. Dangerous game.
Yep.
Especially when you're playing as hard as players on both sides of this field are tonight.
Yep. Mario Dinello now has come onto the field, and he will try the extra point to make it a 38-26, a 12-point lead for Southern California at 6:42 to play in the ball game. That was a little high, but the kick is away, and it is good. So a 12-point lead at 6:42. The 34-game win string is still alive and looking pretty good right now. But the heat next is on the SC defense.
USC leads Texas 38-26 with 6:42 to play in the game. Guys, bad news for Texas. The defensive back was just taken to the locker room, Terrell Brown. They immediately immobilized his arm. They're not saying for sure because they want to wait for the x-rays, but guys, it does appear that his arm is broken. He was immediately taken inside, and guys, it really dejected the sideline here. The defensive players are sitting here devastated. Their heads are down. Seems like the air just went out of this sideline when that injury occurred.
Well, to be blunt about it, it did in a sense, and the Brown leaves the game with 10 tackles. So that's a lot. Now let's see what the USC defense can do with Vince Young. They've got a 12-point lead, but that is nowhere near the neighborhood of safe.
Well, he has had success bringing his team from behind. But this is USC. This is the 2-time defending national champion with one of the greatest defensive coordinators / head coaches of all time, Pete Carroll.
From the 31-yard line. Quick pop to the sideline. Pass is complete. It's Lima Swede making the catch. That stops your clock. Well, they haven't stopped the clock.
Well, they should. He went out of bounds.
I thought so.
And he went out of bounds trying to go forward. A lot of trouble with the clock tonight, huh?
It's still going. 6:15. And thrown Quan Cosby. He caught it on his knees, but he was open. And Vince Young put it right on his number, 6.
Well, the dilemma here is, do you put pressure by adding the blitz to Vince Young and risk him breaking the pocket, making a long run, or do you sit back in zone? Right now, they're just sitting back in zone. hoping to take time off the clock.
I think they've got to go after him from somewhere between here and the goal line. He's just shopping.
Yeah, he's afforded the time to shop and find David Thomas one more time. Thomas getting away from Darnell Bing with a real good wheel route right there. Faked going across the field, came back and picked up another Texas first down. 9 catches tonight for David Thomas.
But just that quickly, the ball is all the way down on the Southern California 37-yard line. Here comes a blitz. But they got him moving around a little bit. The ball's thrown high. It's up for grabs. And goes down incomplete. Ryan Ting had a chance to pick it off, but couldn't come up with it. But they made him move around a little bit that time.
That ball should have been intercepted by Ryan Ting. Goes about 5'10". Went way up high in the air to try to pull it in. Decided to just knock it down instead.
Second down and 10 from the SC 37. When he runs best, he is this direction. And he's close to a first down. Cedric Ellis stripped him.
Such a long stride. He covers so much ground in such a hurry. He gets 8 on that one. It looked like just a stroll around the corner.
3rd and 2. Kevin Thomas checks into the secondary, the extra back. Trojans going after him. Ball is thrown at the first down. David Thomas one more time. That's 10 catches for him. Colin Ashton was there and hit him hard, but he held on.
Having a tight end that's so reliable over the middle just makes the quarterback's life that much easier. And Thomas has done that for Vince Young all year long.
Well, just under 5 minutes to play, a lot of time, and they're down on the SC 23. He's throwing again, throwing quickly, and it goes to Limas Sweed.
And now it's a good read by Vince Young, because SC did bring the blitz that time. Had single coverage outside on Limas Sweed. Here comes Scott Ware. He's picked up. There's the wide open receiver for about a 6-yard gain.
Kevin Thomas pinned him to help team. Second down and 4. He got 6 yards on that little short pass. Young slips a little, coming back. There's daylight. Here he goes. Touchdown.
Tell you, Keith, never seen anybody like him in my life.
Nor have I.
You know, there have been great scramblers throughout the history of college football, but this guy's at the top of the list. He almost fell down on that play.
He did.
Then regains his composure, runs right, as you said, the direction he loves to run, and goes in standing up again.
Pino for the point. Kick good. So it's now kind of cozy. Mack Brown talks about the turning around of Vince Young when he started to really move things for Texas.
We quit bothering him and we started supporting him. And after that time, boy, he is 29-2. I mean, what else can you say? And the #1 passing efficiency quarterback in the country, and just won the Davy O'Brien Award. So sometimes the less you do, the better it is.
And you know, Keith, I can't tell you how many times I've had writers and radio talk show guys ask me about his throwing motion and will he be successful at the next level. I think Mack just answered it. He leads the nation in passing efficiency. He's gained 180 yards rushing tonight, 192 yards rushing against Michigan last year, and we're not done.
We've got 4:03 to play in the game. 38-33, a 5-point lead for Southern California, and they get the ball back. Driving kick taken down at the 5-yard line by Reggie Bush, who's been quiet tonight, and no, just a half a step from blazing a trail to the end zone. Greg Johnson, the kicker, stopped him. Let's spend a moment now with John, Craig, and Aaron.
Keith, thanks a lot. We talked about USC being a second-half team. They've had the ball 4 times in the second half. They've scored 4 times.
Number 21, I had no idea how good he was. Short yardage goal line. LenDale White's been the most valuable player in this ball game.
We talked about leadership and depth being the key to this ball game. It's proven to be so. We'll look at the halftime adjustments of each team and see what worked and what didn't.
Don't forget, when the game is over, we will have post-game interviews plus a trophy presentation, and we'll be joined by our friends at ESPN Game Day. Keith, back to you.
Thank you, John. Game's on the line right here as LenDale White is back into the ball game. Hard to go down. Keeps on fighting with him. And looks like the mark's going to go out to about the 37. Well, that's about 3 yards. It's been a battle. Total combined yards tonight, 1,033. And that was after the defense was very prominent through an entire quarter. 2nd and 7. Little roll out from Matt. Now throws it. Coming back to the ball. They're going to give him the catch.
8th catch of the second half. Remember, we talked about how it was important for them to get their playmakers involved. Well, Dwayne Jarrett is just that. What awareness of where he is on the field, keeping his feet in bounds to haul that one in, and it picks up a huge first down. How about Leinart in the second half? That's why he won the Heisman 2 seasons ago.
1st and 10 now. The ball up on the 47-yard line. LenDale White trying and comes away with 3 on that dive. Tried to get outside, and Drew Kelson kept him from getting away, but had he been able to get to the outside, he'd have done some damage.
Now this is SC football right now, putting the ball in the hands of their big tailback, LenDale White, behind this big offensive line. Each time they snap the ball, time goes off that clock.
Texas with all 3 of their times out remaining. Trojans have 2.5 minutes to play. Trojans lead by 5. Leinart dumps it off, and it is incomplete. Thrown short. He was throwing to Brandon Hancock, but he had a Texas man right in his face.
Yeah, it was Drew Kelson, number 4, who came on the blitz, and that ball came up just short. More importantly, the clock stops
at 2:22. Third and 7. They run it with LenDale White. Oh, that's ball come out? No. Oh, it didn't. They marked him down at the 45.
Came up short of the first down. Now the decision for Carroll. Do I go for it on 4th? Check out the ball here as White spins. Came loose. He did fumble, and it was recovered by Steve Smith. That's the first fumble of the year for LenDale White. About heads up, Steve Smith, a wide receiver in the middle of all those bodies, finds himself with a football right in his hands.
So Texas now with 2:13 to play in the ball game and down by 5. They spend the timeout to save the time. And Pete Carroll got to make a decision right here on 4th and 2. There have been a lot of great coaches along the way at USC, including this man, Howard Jones, who won 4 national championships. John McKay won 4 national championships, and John Robinson had one in 1978. Pete Carroll, of course, looking for his third tonight. All he's got to do is protect the 5-point lead for 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Well, the most dramatic play of the season for the Trojans was the Bush push against Notre Dame. 3 seconds left on the clock. Reggie pushes Leinart into the end zone on a 1-yard plunge to give the Trojans a 34-31 come from behind win at Notre Dame. 4th and 1 now for the Trojans, and Reggie's on the sidelines. But Lendell White's in there. He's the power back.
He gets it.
He didn't get it.
He gets it, meaning he got the ball.
That official right there is marking the ball, and he's marking it short of the first down. Texas football. Twice tonight, SC's gone for it on 4th and 1, and twice they've come up short. This is right down the line. Great penetration. Kelson in there, Huff in there, down below. Brian Robinson with the play. Talked about gang tackling a long time ago, Keith. Good example of it right there.
It's about 6 inches, maybe a foot.
Half the stadium's going to go crazy.
The burnt orange side did. So now Texas is going to have the football in the middle of the field, basically. And here comes their man, Vince Young, onto the field. And the Trojan defense is beleaguered at this point. The ball will be snapped at the 44 of Texas. Now what do you do, Dan? You go at him?
Yeah, you put the ball in number 10's hands and let him win the game for you, as he's done so many times.
You can't keep laying back there in the zone, can you? Here comes the blitz. Dumped off. Rucker makes the play on Romance Taylor as he accepted the short, trying to set a screen for him, but number 24, Justin Wyatt, was blitzing the quarterback.
Watch Rucker, number 90 here. 3-man rush here. As he goes to the inside, they add the 2 cornerbacks. What an effort by Rucker on the tackle.
2nd down and 12. They lost 2 yards. They've got some pressure on Young. He bounces the ball in front of the intended receiver. This time it was Brandon Ting.
Well, you asked what they would do, Keith, on defense. SC, Pete Carroll says, I'm going to go after Vince Young. I'm going to bring all different types of blitzes. The first play, both corners came. That time it was the safety, Brandon Ting, with the big pressure.
You got to get in his face. He's too good.
This is the speed that Carroll needed to put on the field. 3 down, 1 linebacker, 7 defensive backs.
Minute and 35 seconds to play. Wyatt's coming again. They pick him up. He throws to the sidelines. The pass is completed, but it is short of the first down. That's Quan Crosby. And what do they say?
A flag comes in, Keith. I think it's going to be a late hit against SC. Texas sideline celebrating.
Wow.
Wow is right. What a huge mistake this is. They get the face mask call. And the question is it 15 or 5?
Well, if it's 5 from where they're standing, it's going to be a first down, isn't it?
During the play, incidental 5-yard face mask of number 20 defense. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Yep. Watch Darnell Bing right there with the left hand. That didn't look all that incidental to me. Holy cow.
So the ball goes down to the 46-yard line, where it's a first down for Texas on the Southern California side of the field. You've got 1 minute and 20 seconds to play in a ball game and a 5-point USC lead. Vince Young throws on a slant, ball caught, and that's The ball comes rolling out. No call.
That official there says ball down. That's the call.
Minute now. 1 minute to play.
Bing with the hit. He strips the ball later. Too late. Receiver was down. Carter was down. Clearly.
Texas has 2 times out to play with. USC 1.
But Texas and Mack Brown, they've got to get in the end zone. One missed extra point, one missed field goal.
Referee's coming over. Guess they're reviewing it, huh?
I guess so. I'm not sure why. But this is a great benefit. Stops the clock, allows Texas to catch their breath, go over the sidelines for Vince Young so he can talk to Greg Davis in the press box. More time to think about how to move the ball down the field, get it in the end zone. Carter's down there. Now the ball comes loose. This is a waste of time in this review.
Yeah, that's he was well down. The extended body on the ground before they pulled it out.
But again, it was the blitz, wasn't it?
Yep. 57 seconds. 38-33.
After review, the play stands as ruled. It was a catch and down by contact. Second down.
Texas trailed in this ball game 38-26 with 6 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. And now they are getting close to having a big time chance to win it. Second down and 1. There's been no mistakes on the snap tonight. Working out of the spread. That means Sinline has done a good job.
They're going to put more time on the clock because of that play was originally
104. And they get 7 seconds back. Young going to run with it. Oh, he stepped right through a tackle. My gosh, he just stepped right through the hands of Colin Ashton.
Yeah, he's not picky. He's going to go after any of them. Linebackers, defensive linemen, run over defensive backs, and how about getting out of bounds after picking up the first down?
First down will put the ball, put the markers on the 30-yard line of Southern California. And 53 seconds remaining.
Saves both those last 2 timeouts.
Trojans have got to make a defensive play or they're going to lose. Thrown short underneath. There's a man just wide open, Brian Carter. And they're inside the 20 at the 14.
Well, that time Carroll decided to just come with the 3-man rush. No pressure on Young, crossing route against the zone. And again, the clock stops with the receiver going out of bounds. Boy, you've really got a lot of opportunities, a lot of options here, Keith. Remember David Thomas having a huge night. Lima Swede big on the jump ball on the outside.
They've got a first down at the 14-yard line. Incomplete. They went jump ball in the corner. Lima Swede against Kevin Thomas. Thomas is 6'1", and Swede stands in at 6'5", and he's a jumper.
Just remarkable to me to see these freshmen playing so well. That's what Kevin Thomas is. Pretty good throw, gives his receiver a chance, but Thomas beat Swede to the ball.
39 seconds. Gonna run it. Gets inside the 10 to the 9, and the clock keeps going. 30 seconds, they've called timeout.
Well, they got to get in the touchdown because of a couple of missed kicks by David Pino. He missed a PAT after the touchdown in the first half. Then in the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter, the first play misses wide right. That was when SC had a 24-23 lead. Remember, Dusty Magnum last year won this game against Michigan 38-37 when he hit a field goal with time running out.
The timeout belonged to Texas. Each team now with 1 remaining. All-time win streaks, of course, Oklahoma 47, Washington at 39, Yale twice 37, Toledo 35, and Southern California 34 with Miami and Penn State. Oh, that's 10, I guess, way back when. But
nobody wanted to play Yale back then.
no, Pudge have a finger in that punch. They beat you up. Ball is on the 9, where it is 3rd down and 5. They can get a first down if they can get to the 4. But they've only got 30 seconds left. It's up to the Trojan defense now to preserve the streak. Incomplete. That was a good defensive play on Lima Swede.
Again, it was a true freshman, Kevin Thomas, who flashed in front of Swede. May have knocked that ball away, but he certainly distracted him enough that he couldn't haul it in.
4th and 5. I kind of feel like Joe. I'm too old for this. 4th and 5, the national championship on the line right here. He's going for the corner. He's got it. Vince Young scores.
As we said, Keith, you can have the perfect defense called. You can force him out of the pocket, but you're not going to beat him. Invincible.
Well, like Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over, but it certainly looks like the Texas Longhorns are going to walk out of here, and they're walking out on the words of Vince Young, who said they were going to prove they were the best team in the country in this game. And right now, they're standing on it.
And this is a huge 2-point conversion to push the lead to 3.
And they'll spin the last time out. That's it.
That's the Trojans calling timeout.
It's the Trojans calling. All right.
And that is their last timeout. My goodness. How about this play? Trying to get a receiver open in the end zone. Gets pressure, feels it, sees the corner of the end zone. And how about another walk-in touchdown for Vince Young?
Nobody around it when he went in. So USC up against, they're down by a point. You've got 19 seconds to play. They have no times out remaining. If they convert the 2 points, then it means a 3-point lead.
And Mack is going to tie Vince Young to the goalpost in Austin, so he can't leave this team next year and go on to that other league. How about 7 touchdowns rushing for Vince Young in 2 games here in Pasadena? He might want to look for some real estate around here. He owns this field.
Well, he'll probably have enough to buy it.
At some point he will in his future, my goodness.
Runs it and made it. So it's been the Vince Young show when it came to crunch time, as Texas goes to a 41-38 lead with only 19 seconds to play. Clock didn't move on that play.
That extra point is probably not going to. Thank goodness for SC. Matt's daddy in the crowd, knowing it's a tall order. But give the Texas offensive line some credit too. Vince Young's thrown 40 passes tonight, 0 sacks. He's rushed for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. What else can you say?
Congratulations. That'll do.
Odds-on favorite to win the MVP of this game for the second time. 2 years in a row, Vince Young putting on an unbelievable show.
These two teams coached by two men who have brought a whole new perspective and methodology to the business of coaching, I think. Now Reggie Bush will drop back, and let's see if they'll kick to it. I don't believe I would.
No, I'd put it on the ground. Put it on the ground. Make it difficult to pick up.
Put it down there in that open space.
Got a lateral back to Reggie.
No chance. 16 seconds. Clock stops when you move the chain in the college game.
Yeah, but you're going to see the mother of all prevent defenses right here. They'll rush 4 guys, and then the other 7 will be spread out deep.
Here we go. They're coming hard. Leinert shoves it ahead to Bush. Got a block. Goes down and out of bounds, stopping the clock at 8 seconds to play in a ball game.
What that did is that gives Leinert a lot of opportunities here. The problem for SC, Mario Dinello does not have a real big leg, but Troy Van Blarcom does. He made a 43-yarder earlier in the game, did Dinello, and he's getting loose on the sidelines right now.
The ball is resting at the Texas 43. They have no timeouts to work with. 8 seconds is not very much. Leinert runs away from the pressure. Now he's got to throw it, and throws it high and out of bounds, and the game is over. Texas has defeated Southern California 41-38 to win the national championship of college football. This is win number 800 for the University of Texas Longhorns.
And a classic. Lived up to all the hype, all the build-up. Incredible effort by all these young men.
Well, Vince Young, Dan, stepped beyond the pale. He's out there somewhere by himself.
I tell you, Keith, nobody has ever had a game like that. And all his teammates had faith in him, knew he could do it. This is Vince Young's team.
Two coaches. Great respect they have for each other. Pete Carroll has done some remarkable things since he came back to college coaching, and Mike Garrett brought him in as the head coach of the Trojans. He ran off 31 wins, and now Mack Brown sits in the catbird seat, and here is Todd Harris.
Well, Pete, you told me eventually it would have to come to an end. What was the difference tonight?
Well, we couldn't stop them when we had to. You know, we had plenty of chances too, and the quarterback just ran all over the place. He's a fantastic football player, and he made the difference, you know. He threw the ball well enough, but more than that, he did it with his legs, you know. I mean, how classic was it that he ran it in on the last play? So it's a fantastic job by Texas. We gave him everything, you know. We really had a shot to win this game and felt like we should have won it, but we didn't, you know. So this is their night, you know. Hats off to Mac. He did a great job. They have a fine football team. You know, it's been wonderful doing what we've been doing. It's too bad it has to end, but if somebody's got to get it, they deserve the heck out of it. We give it to Mac.
At the very end of the game, you had a timeout. Did you want to save one timeout if they had scored?
Yeah, we had a little problem. They were going for 2 right there, but you know, didn't get it done.
Thanks, Pete. He's a class act, Keith. Let's send it over to Holly.
Guys, I'm here with Matt Leinart. Matt, tell us a little bit about what went through your mind on that last drive for Vince.
You know, he just stepped up. You know, we couldn't tackle, and as a great player, he showed why he's one of the best players in college football.
Tell us a little bit what it's like to go out like this after you came back.
I mean, it's tough, you know, but, you know, we'll move on. It's a great win, great hard-fought, you know, loss, I guess, but, you know, whatever. We still think, I think we're a better football team. You know, they just made the plays in the end.
Win or lose, a great career, Vince. Thanks.
Ways, isn't it? Hands are raised on the Texas side of the Rose Bowl, and the music flows. For 81 years, one of America's most recognizable images has been the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear providing tonight's aerial coverage. And coming up next, the Built Ford Tough postgame show, including interviews and the trophy presentation. Well, the Texas Longhorns, in winning tonight against defending national champion Southern California, have certainly validated Coach Mack Brown and his program. This is a restatement of Texas' place in college football, washes away the memory of 35 years of seeking since Darrell Royal last guided them to Hallelujah Land. And if you're looking for highlights in this game tonight, you spell them Vince Young.
Young set a Rose Bowl record with 467 yards of total offense, breaking the record held by Danny O'Neil of the Oregon Ducks.
Well, he danced all night long when he was on the sidelines. He was patting people on the back, jumping up and down, whistling, singing songs, keeping everybody up, and then went out when he had to and did it.
It's like talking the talk. You got to walk the walk. Well, he ran it all the way in, didn't he?
Sure did. Now, here's John Saunders.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, on behalf of City and ABC Sports, congratulations to the national champion Texas Longhorns. Here's a Tournament of Roses President Libby Wright to present the trophy.
For winning the 2006 National Championship game.
And now here's Mike Snyder, president of ADT, to present the ADT National Championship Trophy.
Coach, congratulations. On behalf of ADT Security Services Worldwide, our 8 million customers, our 40,000 employees, our family of authorized dealers, our parent company Tyco International and the American Football Coaches Association, it's the ADT National Championship Trophy.
A teenager. Talk about what this means to the great state of Texas.
Well, with saying I think you can tell they're all here, John, but first let us thank From all the Texas fans, our staff, and our football program, let's congratulate a great SC football team for 34 straight and 2 national championships. And then secondly, John, what it means to, we want to thank the Rose Bowl, what it means to us. It's been a long time. There's a lot of passion, a lot of pride. I'm proud of these kids. I'm proud of our coaches, high school football in the state of Texas, but we love our fans and they love it.
You having any fun?
I'm getting ready to.
We now want to hand out the most valuable player award trophies. We're going to start with the offensive player of the game. Is there any question that it is Vincent Young? Yeah, that's yours. Now, Vince, I know we talked when you were in New York, and I know you were very disappointed not to walk off with a Heisman Trophy award. I think you like that piece of crystal a little better, don't you?
Oh, it's so beautiful. Hey, don't y'all think that's beautiful right there? That crystal's so beautiful. And it's coming home to Texas. It's coming home all the way to Austin, Texas, baby.
Are you going to be back to try and make it 2 in a row?
Got to work hard and get better, and we'll be back. Wherever we got to go, we'll be back, baby.
All right, Vince, congratulations. And now the defensive player of the game in a very offensive-minded game, but Mike Huff, who came up with huge tackle after huge tackle and game-saving plays. Your defense was what was talked about before the game, that USC had not seen a defense like yours, and I think you guys proved it tonight.
We knew USC was a great team. They had a great offense. I mean, they played hard. They showed us things that we hadn't done before, but in the end, we prevailed.
Mike, congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations again to the Texas Longhorns. Right now, let's go back up to Keith Jackson.
Thank you, John. There's the agony of defeat, and there's the joy of victory. And I bleed back. I think she's ready to begin.
I think we all deserve to have a good time tonight. You're going to see how great Vince Young is. He plays the way he feels, and his team follows him. But he performs and he comes through in the clutch. You'll never see a more clutch performance than what he gave us tonight.
I don't remember one, and we've seen some great ones. I mean, we've seen some of the greatest players in the history of the game. We've seen people take a team on their back and win, but I've never seen quite what we watched tonight before.
It's just pure fun, too. That's what I like, is that he has fun doing it. His teammates rally around him. His coach lets him be himself, and Texas are national title holders.
All right, we've enjoyed it. Texas wins by 3, and let us join now Chris Fowler.
All right, Keith, thank you. Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit alongside. We feel just as privileged as you guys to witness this game that did live up to the hype. Vince Young came over here and he was saying, who's the Heisman? Yeah. Who's the Heisman? Striking the pose. This is not about individual awards tonight, guys, just individual brilliance and a team goal.
Well, first of all, that's the greatest performance the BCS title game's ever seen. The greatest football player I've ever seen, I've been in this game a long time, was Roger Staubach. But tonight, I saw the greatest college quarterback ever to play the game in a clutch situation. And let me tell you something, Vince, leave right now, because I said it before the show and I'm going to say it again. The National Football League general manager would be crazy not to take that guy #1. Kirk, he can beat you with his arm, he beats you with his leg. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Well, that's the thing that makes it so interesting is Texas has had to hear about it for so long, about USC being the best team maybe of all time. This is a team that was determined, and Vince Young was the leader coming out. The thing that I love about Vince Young, and Lee just touched on it, he puts so much pressure on you as a defense. If you load up to stop his scrambling with the blitz, he's able to avoid, create, and throw the ball. If you sit back and you're going to stop his passing, he's able to run and make big plays. And the thing is, when it was crunch time, every single time Vince Young stepped up. Ronnie Lott said he needs to go to the NFL right now. I was standing on the sidelines. He said, that's the best quarterback I've seen in a long time.
He's got to go
That's Ronnie Lott.
Well, all dynasties got to be stopped and all streaks are snapped. It took a special team and a very special quarterback to do that in Vince Young and Texas. SportsCenter on ESPN will have plenty of post-game coverage, reprogrammed. So let's go back over to John Saunders and the gang right across the end zone, John.
You can throw football over here, Chris. I mean, we talked about this game being hyped all year, and it lived up to all of the hype. First, I got to ask you, because I asked Mack Brown if he was surprised that Pete Carroll went for it at midfield. He said no, because he felt that he knew that Texas was moving the football, and so he didn't want to take a chance to give it back to him.
Yeah, but for my bet there on that deal, I definitely would have punted the football, because I'd rather have Texas go 80 yards or 90 yards than 50 yards. But how about Vince Young? Back in October, I had a chance to spend the day with him in Austin, and he asked the questions about what it takes to win and all those things and how important it was to his locker room. Congratulations to Vince Young and his teammates for what they did. When you talk about the field today, 3 Heisman finalists, and they got after it. I mean, they burned up this Rose Bowl grass out here. And look what Matt Leinart did. Matt started a little bit slow, but he came on with 365 yards. Reggie Bush really never a factor in the ball game. He had a nice game, but when you talk about Vince Young, his arm, 30 out of 40. Aaron, so many people have doubted him. And me coming into this game, I thought maybe Matt Leinart might be more of a better quarterback for the NFL than Vince Young. Forget about that, man. Vince Young can play football with his legs and his arms. I said it in pregame, and he came through for him.
Aaron, you actually like Pete Carroll's call.
I think it was a very gutsy call by Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll's known for gutsy calls. This is a championship football game, and it takes risk. You have to be able to go for it. The offense of USC had been carrying this team all year long. Remember the 4th and 9 at Notre Dame? Why put it back in Vince Young's hands? All you need is 2 yards to create history. USC did not get it. The defensive line from Texas was able to do it, and now they're on the Wheaties box, baby. They're on the Wheaties box. It's cereal for everybody. Go Longhorns! Woo!
35 years, the state of Texas, with all of their great football, has been waiting to win a championship. Now they have it. And Mack Brown, the coach that they said couldn't win the big game, he has won the big one and completed a perfect season and stopped USC from doing what no other team had done before, and that is a three-peat. Congratulations to the Texas Longhorns, and thanks for being with us all year long here on ABC. Right now, back to Keith Jackson.
I think you guys have already started your party. Well, they should rejoice in Texas. They earned it.
Well, Keith, this has been an awesome championship game, a privilege to do it, a real privilege and honor to stand next to you and call this great one.
Well, it's been all my pleasure. For the ladies and gentlemen and the whole crew, everybody who worked so hard all season, know you are appreciated. And we will wish you all a happy new year and good night from the Rose Bowl. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. The NFL playoffs kick off with a wild card Saturday on ABC. Our doubleheader begins at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Stay tuned to ABC for your local news. Good night from the Rose Bowl.
Continuing the tradition of excellence, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television.